Chapter 5. It begins with one. I took the job at Embry-Riddle in February of 1998. We would launch as a varsity program the following August. By February, soccer-playing seniors have already made their college choices. I had virtually no time to recruit, if for no other reason than there weren't any players left to be recruited. In effect, I was taking the university's existing club team and elevating it to varsity status. I had run 2 training sessions with the club players. In 6 months, they would become the varsity team. None of them had ever played a game of college soccer. Some of them had never played a game of club soccer or high school soccer either. Most of them had only played rec soccer, and not for any significant length of time. 2 of them began playing soccer when they got to college. To summarize, we were in way over our heads. Florida high school soccer runs through the winter, so I had arrived just in time to catch the tail end of the playoff season. Gainesville Eastside was visiting Daytona Beach to square off with the local powerhouse, Seabreeze High School. The game went into overtime before Seabreeze eventually won in penalty kicks. The result didn't concern me, but what thoroughly consumed me was a player on the Eastside team named Joelle Zaccali. Eastside was outmatched in talent, but Joelle was a total monster. She put that team on her back like nothing I'd ever seen. I had never seen one player work so hard or play with such unmitigated ferocity. She covered a spectacular amount of ground. She didn't seem to play a position. She just went wherever the ball went and threw herself into the fray with utter disregard for her personal safety. She ran, she passed, she dribbled, she shot, and best of all, she knocked opponents on their asses with alarming regularity. She was a one-woman wrecking ball and the reason that Eastside had made it to penalties. I was genuinely inspired to have witnessed such a heroic performance. As I watched Joelle Zaccali, I envisioned that she would come to my university and be the foundation for our team. I hadn't just found a player. I had found our captain. I'd found the warrior personality that would define the culture of our program. She would be our leader, and everyone would gravitate to her standard. When the game was over and Joelle and her teammates were sitting in the grass changing out of their cleats, I approached her. All I really wanted was to let Joelle know what an honor it had been to watch her play, so I introduced myself and said my piece. I wanted to just turn and walk away and save myself the rejection, but I had to ask if she had already committed to a college. Amazingly, she hadn't. I had just struck gold. A week later, Joelle was visiting our campus. We sat at lunch, and I told her that I was going to build my program around her. I told her we would stink at first, but that we would get better with each passing year. Then I made her a promise I had never made before and have never made since. I promised Joelle that if she came to Embry-Riddle, we would play in a national championship tournament before she graduated. It wasn't the belief I had in myself or my university. It was the immense belief I had in her. Joelle came on board as my first recruit. 6 months later, I named this freshman as the lone captain of our program. She was going to be the competitive spirit upon which our program would be built. I wanted her voice to lead us. I wanted her rage to inspire us. I wanted hers to be the standard to which everyone else rose. As much as I felt that my team full of club players was in over its head as a varsity program, I wondered if I wasn't throwing Joelle into the deep end by naming her as a freshman captain. As it turned out, she may have been better prepared for her assignment than anyone else, including me. Joelle was mean and nasty and fierce, and no one ever hated losing more. She would not accept mediocrity from herself or her teammates, even the ones that were 4 years her senior. Joelle didn't come to college to win a popularity contest. She came to win soccer games. In no uncertain terms, Joelle Zaccali was a winner, and we were on our way. Joelle taught me that a winning culture starts with one personality. For 4 years, I watched Joelle put our mission ahead of the popularity contest. I watched her drive her teammates forward on pure force of will. Being a champion was very important to Joelle, and she wouldn't allow anything to distract our team from its purpose. And if push came to shove, Joelle wasn't afraid to confront a teammate whose effort was compromising the mission. If you're serious about winning, then you have to believe that it does begin with one. It begins with one personality that refuses to accept less than excellence. One personality that has the courage to police the standards of the team and confront teammates who aren't living up to those standards. It begins with one personality that has the courage to stand up and say, this team is about winning championships, and you either get on board with that or you pack your bags. When you were reading about Joelle, maybe there was a part of you thinking, yes, that's how it should be. I want to be like that. And then you realize how difficult it's going to be because too many of your teammates won't respond well to that type of leadership. I'm telling you now, if you want to be part of a true winner, you need to choose between your teammates and the mission. A lot of girls want to win championships, but few have the courage to demand excellence from their teammates. Why? Because girls have a tendency to fire back. When you confront teammates about their effort, there's an excellent chance that they're going to label you something nasty. And that's where you have to decide whether you're going to protect the mission or cave to peer pressure. Ultimately, you may have to decide if winning a championship is more important than your relationship with the teammate who regards soccer as a hobby. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that you won't reach your competitive goals until you have everyone pulling in the same direction. The decision is ultimately yours to make. Yes, you are only one, but one can be enough. I've seen it happen.